The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the Bunk Collective and its affiliates. The material and information presented here is for general information and entertainment purposes only. This program might include strong images or language and may not be suitable for all audiences. This podcast was mainly created for fun and entertainment, and because we're the only podcast that has a big enough bravado to talk about all these. Viewer discretion is advised.
Damn, I miss COVID. Not the sickness. Wait, let me.
You mean the quarantine?
Yeah, the quarantine.
quarantine
It was like time with family, and everyone was just at home. The economy was shittier, I guess, if you think about it. But if you think about the good things that happened, you saw that photo where someone took like a photo of, I think that was Makati, like the skyline, and it was like clear as fuck.
Yeah.
Because like, there were no cars, there's no pollution, things like that. So I guess like as a topic, it's like, what are the things that you miss during the quarantine days? Yeah, because remember, it's like we're recording this in late April. Around this time, everyone was still at peak, freaking out about what's happening, what's gonna happen next and shit.
Everyone thought that it would just be over after 2 weeks, and then it just kept going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
What do I
think about
miss
it? Like 4 years ago. Shit, it was 4 years ago. Anything you miss? Like, were you there at home when this happened, or were you still?
Yeah. Well, we had the alert at work, so I was still with my corporate,
Oh yeah, your corporate job,
company. Yeah. And then, they
I'll
just
go
said that.
home. Ganun, sabi?
Yeah. No, and like we were supposed. Actually, I was supposed to go to like Tokyo with my office mates for an incentive because I reached my target for
Hell yeah.
last year. So we were supposed to go to Tokyo, the three of us, and yeah, we had to
Sabi sa inyo, umuwi na
cancel it.
kayo?
No. Like we just canceled it. But we were supposed to leave like maybe a week after. But yeah, anyway, what do I miss about quarantine? I think it's really like experiencing a reset for your life. Like I felt like there was a reset or like a wake up call after having time to just sit by yourself and face all your thoughts. So yeah, I think that's what I miss.
Early days of TikTok, things like that.
Yeah, actually I didn't start TikTok during the quarantine. Like it was 2021, so things were getting better already by that time. But yeah, probably
Right.
that. What about you?
Yeah. No traffic.
Oh,
That's what I miss. Low gas prices, like all the adult stuff,
right,
Like,
right.
I feel that right now everything is just like super expensive, and everyone's out, no one's wearing masks anymore. And don't get me wrong, that's super awesome, that's great. Like, I'm not for COVID, but I kind of miss the time when everyone was just at home.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know this, here in Quezon City, um we had the first case of COVID-19 in our barangay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Damn.
it's like my office is like, we got a confirmed case here. Should I come in? It's like, should I still go? It was like, yeah, you should still go. Okay, whatever. So like, I was scared shitless. By the way, I was like really scared at that time.
But I think
So
everyone was
yeah.
scared. Like even
Oh
like
yeah.
especially me, because I'm like considered as a person with comorbidities. Is that the
Okay.
word?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because I have asthma. So hello. if I get COVID, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I
You've
die.
never had
So
COVID?
I did. I had
Oh,
it
you did.
twice. Yeah, I had
Oh,
it
me too.
twice.
Yeah.
I think the first time I didn't have any symptoms. And then the
Really?
second time, that was like when I felt like I was gonna die, legit.
My first time was the feel. That's when I felt like I was gonna die. I couldn't sleep lying down. It
Yeah.
it was the second one that I was like, okay, I got fever, I got runny nose. It's alright.
But it was like just a normal flu. I
Yeah.
think the one that hit me the second time was Delta. So even after I got
Mm.
vaccinated for the first time, it was
It
a
was
new
still like a new
variant.
strand. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
So yeah.
man, it feels like forever ago, but yeah, I think it was it was supposed to happen. Like as someone who's spiritual, I feel like COVID or that pandemic had to happen for a lot of us because it is like a life-changing
Mm.
thing. Parang so many things
Oh yeah.
changed or like so many things even improved for so many people. So
I
yeah, I
agree.
know a lot of people died, but you know, something good came out of
Such
it.
is life, ika nga.
Mhm.
Yeah.
True.
All right. Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast Season 4. This is Yuki. This is Ingrid. It's a DWI show. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so Bobby is in sabbatical right now, but it's like we're still here. We're still going to do some podcasting. There's going to be a little bit of a different approach on how we do the podcast. We're going to try and limit every episode to try being the
30 to
operative
40
word,
minutes.
30 to 40 minutes. So
We got this, dude.
yeah, let's see how that turns out. We're
Got
already
this.
at 6 minutes, so I keep on looking at the clock while we're recording this. So,
Okay, I'll try to alert you. I'll try
yeah,
to
okay,
send you signs. Okay.
good shit. Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, with everything that's happening in K-pop, I think one major story stood above everything else, um, and that was what happened in Coachella with one of our bias groups. To be honest, like are are they
Yeah.
are they one of yours? Like they're one of
Yeah.
mine.
Of course.
So
Yeah, we've been raving about them for like the past few
exactly,
episodes. Too.
that's true. So
Yeah.
it's like if you
So.
see it's like some of our photos, it's like as their thumbnail has Les Sserafim on it, and because like we're huge fans. Um,
Mhm.
but we got to talk about
But
what happened
what
there.
do we feel about it?
Girl, have you watched snippets of the stage at the
Of
very
course I
least?
have.
I've
It's
sent you links, right?
it's unavoidable. Like it's everywhere. Like it's on my FYP. Like even my other friends are sending it to me. Like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to
In the
talk
minute,
about
my
it.
fire, fire.
Okay, we talked about this. I know that you were gonna be a bit harsh, but maybe
You
try
don't
to cut
know.
them some slack.
I am a very kind person. Okay. Let me just say this really quickly here. It's a bad take, I feel, as a
Mm,
general long fan of this genre, this culture that we're in. It's
yeah.
a huge, like, big bad take. For on the world stage, we were just like body slammed. I don't know who to blame. It's like a lot of people will definitely say that no, Yuki, you shouldn't blame the Seraphim. You should blame management. You should blame this and that. And that's like, to be honest, like, and I'm speaking from the heart here. I feel like that's the excuse of people that don't either want to be canceled or just doesn't
Mhm.
want their faves to be in the spotlight, in that limelight of being ridiculed.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, I understand where you guys are coming from. But at the same time, it's also the girls that are singing. It's also the
Mhm.
girls that are performing. Before that happens, were there people that were involved in the process of getting them on stage, absolutely were they to blame for things like this happening? So they played a huge part, like 100%, because someone had to see the stage. Someone had to see how they practice. Someone had to speak up and say
Mm-hmm.
that this might not be good to show the world stage just yet.
Yeah. Okay, I know we have different opinions. I we both agree that the performance could have been better for sure. But let me just try to look at it
What do you
in a
mean
different
better? Could
sense.
have been good. It's not a good stage. It wasn't a good
This
stage.
okay, fine. It could have been better. Let's just stick to that. Okay. There were
Okay.
some parts where they were okay, but
Chewon
then
brought it. Like Chewon
yeah,
carried
yeah.
that.
He kind of yeah. She carried the performance for sure, but maybe we could just say that they got nervous. They weren't prepared because I think as a group who has only debuted for like 2 years, they haven't had enough experience performing live. Most of the time, when they do perform live, it's only like in music shows, so they don't have the experience to perform with a live band. So, as someone like in the past who have performed like with a live band before, it can get really overwhelming, especially even if you have like an in ear thing. Sometimes you can't hear yourself, like the live band gets a bit too loud, so it could have they got a bit overwhelmed, and that's something that they're not used to doing. So I think Sakura posted a message in Weavers saying that you know they were proud of their performance, and um they're just rookies. But then again, they're not like Sakura, Chewon, they're not rookies though, right?
Not at all.
So I don't know what to feel about it. I don't want to be an asshole, but yeah, they could have practiced a little bit more. Or I think they weren't prepared to perform at Coachella.
Look, Ingrid, I know you're being technical about a lot of stuff, and I can totally understand where you're coming from. As someone
Yeah.
that also performed in a band back then, it's like it's something that, for obvious reasons, like we know the pressure, we know how it sounds like on that stage, not probably singing to like 50,000 people, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong,
and
but
dancing around.
and dancing
Yeah.
around, but like we know what kind of environment that is where a band is right behind you, playing their
Mhm.
instruments, so everyone's just like on you as the one that's singing the song. And I know you're being technical, and I can understand why you're being technical, so that people that will try and justify that would, like, say that, oh, they didn't point this out, blah blah blah. So I thank you for that. However,
Mhm.
you're a singer. You're a singer. If you know the song from top to bottom,
Mhm.
your throat, that's muscle memory. I'm
Yeah.
speaking from experience. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. If you know the song from top to bottom, regardless if you hear yourself or not, you know how it feels inside. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
something that's physiological. For anyone that listens to the show that doesn't sing or feels like they're lacking when it comes to their singing capabilities, from a singer standpoint, wow, singer standpoint, but I was like, as someone who's a bit inclined in music, it's muscle memory. We know
Mhm.
how we sound because of how we feel inside our throats.
Mhm.
It's just something. And if they've been consistently performing for the last 2.5 years, 2 years, sige, let's say 2 years, if they've been consistently performing in and out of stages, in and out of concerts, comebacks here and there for the past 2 years, regardless of what song they sing, they should know how that's gonna sound like.
Okay, so you're saying in those 2 years that they were performing, they were just relying on lip syncing or like the backing vocals.
And this is something that I pointed out na parang sabi ko in a previous episode. I feel like there's a resurgence of live singing nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But it just goes to show that it's not for all of the groups.
Yeah.
I am very disappointed on the whole team. I'm disappointed in the group. I'm disappointed in management.
Yeah.
The stage, I didn't really watch the whole stage because like I don't want to cringe for an
Because
entire
usually
45 minutes.
when a group performs and they could dance really well, sometimes it can make up for like a bad live singing performance. But for this one, and I really don't want to sound like I'm, being an asshole about them. It didn't. Like even the dance didn't make up for their live vocals. So, and it's just really unfortunate that the Seraphim is just like about to, become household names for K-pop, and this
They
happened
already
to
are,
them.
I feel. They already are. Like
I
they're
mean,
one of the
maybe
top groups.
I guess, but then it's just unfortunate that this happened to them. Like, there's just no excuse for me. There's no excuse for me. They should have practiced a lot more.
And can I just say this? Like the fear knots that are just going all out on people, calling them out. You guys are shaping up to be one of the just freaking insane people in K-pop right now. I've been seeing a ton on TikTok, on YouTube, fucking Facebook. It's
I
like
wouldn't say
I
insane.
understand. I understand, but
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say insane. I think they're just, too overprotective. They're just coddling their favorites too much to
see,
the
this is
point
this
that
is Ingrid being a very diplomatic person right now.
they're just, coddling their faves too much. Like, we shouldn't say insane. Just, we have to still be diplomatic and criticize them without being too harsh. But okay, sorry, you were
I don't I
saying.
don't I don't feel like I was too harsh by calling them insane. It's like you should see how they react to people calling Les Seraphim out for their bad singing. It's like
Yeah,
I
which we
was
don't condone.
we
Which we
don't
don't
condone.
condone.
Yeah. I saw this comment. I was there live. I was there in front of the stage. They sounded like fucking angels. What are you talking about? It's like, dude. Oh no, man. And what people are doing right now, like the Fear Nots, they're uploading this stage and then putting
Hmm.
piping in crowd noise and
Hmm.
also like the backing vocal so that Les Seraphim as a group would sound like
Better.
what's on the tape.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, dude, that's so blatantly like so obvious. Like, I don't know. This is why I call it insane. I don't know why they thought that would work and turn heads around because it was so fucking obvious. Like I felt like Coachella as a page when they posted about Les Seraphim. They posted like, okay, you gotta get this part because after this part is like a part that
It was bad.
it was really
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, and they cut like performances as snippets,
Hmm.
and it
Because
it feels
normally,
weird.
if it's like a performance at Coachella, you would have like had this. I'm for sure they had like someone recording them, but I think someone in the production team probably said, yeah, I don't think we could
We
salvage
can't salvage this. Yep.
majority of this." And damn, it hurts for me to say this because we do love the Seraphim, but yeah, and also like even Chaewon and Yunjin, they carried the performance, but there were times that they were yelling more than they were screaming. More than they were
What's up,
singing.
Coachella?
Yeah, so I don't
I
know,
don't know.
dude. I think they got too excited. And when they got the offer, probably they wanted to take that opportunity, but it just it just backfired on them.
There's this specific idol that we kept on talking about in previous episodes. She who must not be named. I chatted you here
Mm-hmm.
on
Yeah, I
on
saw. I
you
saw.
saw.
Yeah.
She sounds like a fucking angel compared to how Les Seraphim did. I mean,
So
Sakura.
how do we feel about it now though? Like I'm because
I'm
okay, I
ashamed. I'm
yeah,
ashamed.
I feel a bit embarrassed for them.
I guess, like, that the thing that I started with, that the thing I addressed in it earlier, where there was a process of getting them on that stage.
Hmm.
Someone had to speak up and say, this is
Yeah,
not,
this isn't good.
like, we shouldn't do this. We should cancel. It's like they could probably Coachella could probably get someone like fucking Ariana Grande just like that, to replace them and shit. It's like it's just so embarrassing. I've been at this for 12 years, 13 maybe, since 2009. No, 15 years now. Fuck. I've been in K-pop for 15 years. I've seen the highs and the lows and all of these different groups with like complicated dance moves, fucking it's like
Yeah.
vocally straining songs. And just the other day we were talking
Yeah.
about this, like, hindi kasi
I had
she
I
was
had this argument.
justifying. Yeah.
Yeah, I had this argument where we have to
Komplikado
consider
yung
the
dance
fact that
moves eh.
yeah, the choreography is complicated, and then Yuki was like, "Well, what about G Friend?" And I was like,
Exactly. And it's like,
"Yeah,
even if they're not dancing, even if they're just standing there and just fucking
yeah,
jumping,
yeah, yeah, that's
it's
true."
like one of the things that I thoroughly, it's like, was just, oh my god, why was that a thing? Was There was a point where one of the members were just switching lanes and just stood there. The one I chatted you,
Mm-hmm.
and she was just standing. Obviously, she was dancing and singing
Yeah,
prior to that, so she might have been tired, but they were just standing there, and people are just like fucking. People are horrible, and I wouldn't want to say that I'm a horrible person for calling this out. We're a K-pop podcast. At the end of the day, we need to talk about this. We need to get our like our thoughts out there, because some of the people that actually listen to this podcast actually like our takes. But they were just standing there and just comparing it to any other group that I can think of. What a slap to the face of someone like Mamamoo. That's what I kept on thinking. I just watched
yeah,
Wien a week
mm-hmm.
ago, and
Yeah,
she had complicated dance moves too. Don't get me wrong. It's like she's a solo artist currently promoting, has so much complication when it comes to how she dances, because hey, she's probably the best dancer of the group. So we all know that she more or less, like, her company exploited that kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
And she was singing, and you know how Wien sings.
Yeah,
There was nothing in that concert short than perfect when
yeah.
I watched
Not
her.
to mention, not to mention another K-pop group who performed at Coachella was AT. So it was ATs and then the Seraphim. And
Fuck.
ATs are known to have
What a
complicated
banger.
choreography,
What a
and
banger
they
AT's
sing
had.
they sing live. So I think that emphasized Le Seraphim's underwhelming performance even more. So
You follow someone like AT's because you're a bigger name. But then that group delivered, even over delivered, I may say,
yeah.
on their stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you follow it with how you performed. It was 45 minutes of sheer cringe. I felt like I watched like maybe the first 6 minutes, and I was like, I gotta
Oh yeah,
stop this.
I couldn't watch the full performance because I looked it up on YouTube and there was like maybe 30 minutes of it. I tried to watch it, but yeah, I couldn't
And
finish it.
and Filipino fear nots will definitely just hound us on TikTok and on YouTube saying that, well, what does these guys know? Blah blah blah. It's like we don't. I get what you mean, and I understand where you're coming from because I was there. I was there where you're at right now. We were there where you're at right now. We know that you need to do some sort of defense, or you need to do some, like, what's the term I'm looking for? Damage control,
Mm-hmm.
because it was just bad. But you have to admit to yourselves at one point that it was a bad stage. Is
Mm-hmm.
this, Ingrid, because we're in 25 minutes, is this the most embarrassing thing from a creative perspective that happened in K-pop that you can think of?
I wouldn't say it's the most embarrassing, but it's
Creatively,
definitely
creatively,
yeah, yeah, it's definitely like one for the books, but not in the best way possible.
can you think of any other thing that might have put this below them or something up to par?
Mm, there's probably some, but yeah, it would take a lot of time for me to think about it. I'm sure there's something like it as well, but right now, yeah, it's pretty bad. And I don't know what it's like, what it's gonna be like for K-pop, like moving forward, because they're from a big company. They're from Hybe. So what is this gonna say about like K-pop in the future? Because there's only okay, honestly speaking, there's only two members who can actually sing, like who can sing well,
Properly.
right? Properly. So what is it gonna be like for other groups like in the future? Because they have to, set a standard, right? So is it just enough that they can dance well, they can perform well?
Here's what I think. I think they need to put back the old standard of getting as much training as
As
possible
possible.
before
Yeah.
they
And I
debut.
think I think like Blackpink is a good example for this because they have like a handful of choreography that's complicated, but because they understand themselves and they understand like their level of like singing ability, they don't push like on the choreography too much. Like I think groups like moving forward shouldn't have like super complicated dance like choreographies.
Yeah.
So even if let's say they're not the best singer, it won't strain their, voices too much. So,
And I think producers, choreographers, and composers should play with the group's strengths moving forward.
yeah.
There has to be some sort of thing that you need to do from the back office. It's not just the idols that are at fault here. And yes, I am calling Les Sserafim as the idols. They are at fault to some degree. I want to say that. It's not, I don't want to sugarcoat things. You're here because of the hot takes, because of the controversies. I'm telling you straight up, to some level, even even I dare say up to par with back office, they are at fault. There's just no sugarcoating it. They
Hmm.
have to practice,
Yeah. I just hope that they see this as a learning experience, maybe take time to reflect and
reassess. It's like,
reassess
don't come
themselves because
back for like a
I
year.
hope they're not the type. I know, they take pride in their performance, they take pride in their talents, but I hope they don't take this in a way na, oh, we're getting so much hate, but then there are people who, still support us. I hope that it doesn't, like for them, they actually take everything in consideration and then apply it, like, you know in the future. Cause yeah, Sakura's message, as much as I love her, it sounded like a bit she was like in denial. So
Yeah. Some even may
yeah.
call it like delusional. I saw like a
Yeah, but then
comment
I
that
didn't
said
want to say
she
that.
was. Yeah, I
I
mean,
didn't
I'm
want
just
to say
saying. I'm not
that.
saying that we're saying that. I saw comments that said like, "Girl, you're delusional," things like that.
Yeah.
And I also saw another comment. Isn't Le Sserafim Source? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, source music. Same as G Friend.
So there was a comment that said, so they disbanded G Friend
Oh
for.
no.
I'm not saying I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree. I'm just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
saying that
yeah.
if you disbanded a group like fucking G Friend, pucha, even Vivis is doing
Yeah.
such a tremendous job right now.
Yeah. So what are our final thoughts, Yuki?
They should go on sabbatical, like our
Yeah, they
co-host
should
Bobby.
really, yeah, they should reassess. And before this episode ends, I just want to emphasize that bullying is wrong.
That's true, 100%.
Please. Like they don't deserve like all the harsh things that they're getting right now, like all the unnecessary like bullying and hate being thrown at them.
Yep,
Like it's good if you have something, to
to
something
say
to say,
something
like just
something
to
logical,
something, yeah, yeah, something logical, or like just to literally be honest as fans of theirs, just like what we're doing right now. Um
Yeah,
yeah, maybe if you don't have anything nice to say, then just don't, which I know is not possible, given that the internet will
because
always be the
internet
internet.
is, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't like I don't feel like you're our moral compass in this show. Was I too much on this episode?
No.
Like I
No,
feel
you've
like
changed a lot. You've gone through a character development throughout the years that we've been hosting this show. So
I
I'm
know,
very proud of you.
I know. I've been like I really thought about what I was gonna say here. So
Yeah.
I think they should go on sabbatical. I think they should reassess a lot of things. Don't come back for a fucking year. It's like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would rather have that and have them just go full on when it comes to improving how they're doing stages, how they perform on stages. A good chunk of the members needs dire practice on how to perform. Not saying that we're great performers. I'm just saying that as a viewer, I wouldn't want
Yeah.
my idols looking like that because
Yeah.
a lot of people enjoy the stage. I saw them like sitting ducks.
Hmm.
And yeah,
They could
it's
do
just,
better than this for
oh,
sure.
fucking, it's like, girl,
Yeah.
we've seen them at, at,
Live.
at a level, we've seen them live. Yeah, I like totally forgot about that. We've seen them live. That stage in AAA was fat freaking tastic. It's
Hmm.
like they sang okay there. I don't know if that's MR or is that like live singing. I don't really know and I don't give a fuck. But if you're going on that kind of level, that kind of stage like Coachella, where you need to sing live, then you got to make sure that you can deliver because you're not only
Hmm.
representing Les Seraphim and the Fear Nots, you're also representing the whole entire K-pop culture
Yeah.
because you're there. You're their prime time. There's no one else but them and 80s that were there, and 80s fucking over delivered that shit.
Hmm. I think the Rose was there too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, but it's like
Man.
they're
Yeah.
not like mainstream. If you get what I mean.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, that's the show. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. It's a new approach. Kind of like it. It's like
Honestly, yeah.
it's shorter, more compressed, a lot of content's there. So yeah, good shit. Hopefully the next one won't be as long. So we gotta talk about that. But
Yeah.
that's the show, you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you again for the next one. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
The Kingdom Podcast is brought to you by the Kingdom Podcast creative team, executively produced by Dustin Sese and presented by the Bunk Collective. You can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at The Kingdom Pod PH. All episodes are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. For inquiries, please email us at thekingdompodph@thebunkph.com. And don't forget to visit thebunkph.com/thekingdompodph. Thanks for listening to the show and see you next time.